The real secret to changing your life isn't about feeling ready, but about showing up anyway. Every morning, you tell yourself you'll start when you feel like it. But what if that moment never comes? What if waiting for motivation is the reason you're still stuck? Because the truth is, motivation fades. It's loud, exciting, and temporary. But discipline, that's quiet power. It's what makes you get up even when you're tired. It's what builds habits, trust, and confidence. So let me ask you, when your alarm rings tomorrow, will you listen to your feelings or your purpose? Because one of them will build your dream. The other will break your consistency. You see, real growth doesn't happen on your best days. It happens on the ordinary ones, when no one's watching, when it's just you and your choice. And every small effort, every repeat, every quiet, "I'll do it anyway." That's how discipline shapes you into the person you've been trying to become. So what if today you stopped chasing motivation and started practicing self-respect? What if every act of discipline was your way of saying, "I believe in my future, even when I can't see results yet"? Because that's what discipline really is. Self-love in action. It's faith with movement. It's consistency that compounds until one day, everything changes. And maybe that change starts right here. With this one morning, this one choice, this one moment where you stop waiting to feel ready and simply begin. Because once you do, you'll realize discipline doesn't just change your habits, it changes you. Discipline over motivation. You wake up, and sometimes you don't feel like doing anything. Your mind says, maybe later. Your body feels heavy. Your thoughts start whispering, what's the point? But there's something quiet inside you, a voice that says, do it anyway. That voice is discipline. Discipline doesn't shout. It doesn't need to. It speaks in calm truth. It says, you've made a promise to yourself. Motivation comes and goes like weather. Some days it's bright, some days it disappears. But discipline is the sun behind the clouds, always there. Even when you can't see it. You've waited for motivation before, haven't you? Waited for the perfect mood, the perfect time, the perfect version of you to show up. But it never comes. Because motivation isn't what moves your life. Discipline is. Discipline is that small decision, made quietly, when nobody's watching. It's the moment you push through, when your mind is full of reasons to stop. You whisper to yourself, just one step, and that's enough. You see, your future self is built in these moments, not when you feel ready, but when you move anyway. Every time you keep your word to yourself, you grow stronger. You start to trust yourself, and that trust, that's power. Because when you trust yourself, you no longer need to wait for motivation. You create momentum. You start living by choice, not by mood. There's peace in discipline. People think it's pressure. They think it's hard. But real discipline is freedom. It's the quiet knowing that no matter what happens, you'll still show up. You don't need loud energy. You don't need to feel unstoppable. You just need to begin. And beginning is everything. Every single morning, you have two paths. The easy one that fades fast, or the steady one that builds your future. Motivation will tell you to pick the easy one. Discipline will smile and hand you the hard one, because it knows the hard one leads to peace, confidence, and growth. When you build discipline, you build self-respect. You start keeping promises no one else even knows you made. That's where real confidence comes from. Not from words, from actions repeated in silence. And maybe right now, you're tired. Maybe you failed a few times. That's okay. Discipline isn't about perfection. It's about coming back again and again until consistency becomes your second nature. Soon, you'll notice something. The things that used to feel impossible start to feel normal, and the goals that once scared you start to feel close. That's the quiet magic of discipline. It doesn't make noise. It transforms you slowly, day by day. You'll wake up one morning and realize you've become the person you used to admire, not because you waited for motivation, but because you created movement, because you chose the path of commitment. And that choice, every single day, is how you build a life that feels steady, peaceful, strong. You're not chasing moods anymore. You're building yourself. Oh, you know, discipline isn't about forcing yourself. It's about remembering why you started. It's that quiet whisper that says, keep going, when everything else tells you to stop. You don't always need to feel ready. You just need to begin. Because every time you choose action over hesitation, you're teaching your mind that you're in control. You're building a bond with yourself, one that says, I can trust me. That's what real power feels like. Most people wait for motivation. They wait for the perfect mood, the right time, the right feeling. But you're learning to show up even when you don't feel like it. That's discipline. And discipline is love, self-love in its strongest form. When you keep promises to yourself, your world changes. Your confidence grows quietly, not in loud celebrations, but in silent victories. Every morning you wake up and do what you said you would. You're planting roots of strength deep within you. Some days will feel heavy. You'll look around and wonder if it's even working. But discipline doesn't ask for perfection. It only asks that you try again and again. Because every little action adds up. Every time you choose progress over comfort, you build something unseen. Something no one can take from you. It's called inner peace, the calm that comes when you know you gave your best. You don't need to chase motivation anymore. You create it. Each small act of effort becomes a spark, and soon, those sparks build a fire inside you. A fire that doesn't depend on how you feel. It burns because you've chosen it to. So breathe. You're not behind. You're not late. You're right where you need to be. And the only thing you need to do now is take the next small step. Discipline is not punishment. It's freedom. The freedom to move beyond moods, beyond doubt, beyond fear. It's what separates those who dream from those who live the dream. And every time you fall, it's okay. Falling means you tried. Stand back up, even slowly. Every comeback builds a stronger version of you. Because you are not fragile. You've survived storms before, and you will again. Each time, you come back wiser, calmer, stronger. That's discipline in motion. So when the world gets loud, return to your breath. When you feel lost, return to your purpose. When you feel tired, return to your why. That's how you stay grounded when everything else shifts. You don't have to do it all today. Just stay consistent. Little by little. Brick by brick. Discipline isn't built overnight. It's built every morning you rise. And one day soon, you'll look back and realize you became everything you once hoped for. Not because of luck, but because you stayed when it was hard. You kept walking when no one was watching. You chose to believe in your own power. So let this moment remind you, you are capable. You are strong. You are enough. You wake up some days and you don't feel it. No drive, no energy, no spark. The bed feels heavier, the world quieter. But discipline whispers, rise. Not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. You sit up. You take a breath. You show up again. That small act may not seem powerful, but it is. Because discipline isn't about the big moments. It's about the tiny choices that shape the rest of your life. Every time you move forward, even an inch, you prove something to yourself. You prove that your strength doesn't depend on your feelings. You prove that you can do hard things. And that proof, that evidence, becomes your foundation. Think about this. Every dream you've ever had depends on one thing: consistency. Motivation may start the fire, but discipline keeps it burning. Motivation fades when life gets heavy, but discipline doesn't. It shows up when you don't want to. It stays when everything else leaves. So when you feel tired, remember, discipline doesn't mean you never rest. It means you rest with purpose. You recover so you can rise again stronger. That's what separates the ordinary from the unstoppable. You are not ordinary. You were never meant to be. You were meant to grow, to rise, to endure. Every struggle you face is not there to break you. It's there to reveal you. The days you want to quit, those are the days that define you. Those are the days that build the version of you that success is waiting for. The world doesn't reward the fastest. It rewards the most consistent. The one who stays. The one who tries again. The one who keeps faith alive when everything else falls apart. And you can be that person. In fact, you already are. You've survived moments you thought would destroy you. You've walked through storms no one even saw. You've picked yourself up when no one was cheering. That's discipline in its purest form. Quiet courage. No one sees the early mornings, the late nights, the silent tears. But that's okay. You're not doing this for applause. You're doing it because you made a promise to yourself. And that promise means something. Keep your promise. Because every time you do, the universe takes notice. It moves things around you. It aligns paths you never saw before. It rewards the ones who don't give up. You don't need everything figured out. You just need faith and follow through. You need to keep walking, one step, one breath, one choice at a time. The small steps become big victories. The quiet effort becomes loud results. When you choose discipline, you choose transformation. You choose growth over comfort. And growth, it's never painless. But that pain, it's shaping you. It's refining you into the person who can handle the life you've prayed for. You can't expect success to meet you at your starting point. You have to meet it halfway. Through action, through resilience, through consistency. Every repetition, every effort, every decision counts. Even when no one's watching. Because you are watching. And one day, you'll look back and be grateful that you didn't quit. You'll thank yourself for staying. This moment right now, it matters. This is where your future begins. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Right now, as you choose discipline again, you're not just building habits. You're building identity. You're becoming the kind of person who finishes what they start. The kind of person who doesn't wait to feel ready. They make ready. Remember, motivation fades, feelings fade, but discipline is eternal. It's built on values, not emotions. It's built on love, not hype. You don't need to force yourself to be strong every day. You just need to decide, I will try again today. That's enough. Because progress is built from small, honest tries. The days you stumble are part of the story. The setbacks, the pauses, the detours, they're all training you. Training your patience. Training your focus. Training your heart to stay steady no matter what. You're learning that power isn't loud. It's quiet. It's calm. It's the stillness that says, I've got this, even when no one else believes you do. So breathe in. Feel this moment. Let it remind you, you're capable of more than you know. You've proven it before, you'll prove it again. Discipline is your anchor. No matter how strong the waves get, you don't drift away. You stay grounded because you know where you're going. And one day, all this effort, all this pain, all this patience, it'll make sense. You'll see that the waiting had a purpose. The struggle had a reason. The process had a meaning. And in that moment, you'll smile. Not because you made it, but because you became it. You became the person who could handle it all. And now, breathe again. Let the noise fade away for a moment. You've done enough for now. Just be here. This is what discipline feels like when it settles in. It's not a storm. It's not a shout. It's quiet confidence. It's peace that lives behind your ribs and tells you, I'm proud of you. Every small promise you've kept has brought you here. Every step you took when you didn't want to, every choice that felt invisible, it all mattered. It built something strong inside you. You may not see the full picture yet, but one morning you'll wake up and realize your habits became your power. Your discipline became your freedom. You'll see that it was never about being perfect. It was about being present, about showing up even when the feeling was gone. That's the real art of living, doing what needs to be done, with love, not pressure. So when tomorrow comes and your mind tells you to stay in bed, remember this feeling. Remember the calm after effort, the peace after action. Remind yourself that every time you move, you honor your purpose. You are no longer chasing motivation. You're walking with meaning. You're no longer waiting for the perfect day. You're creating it. You're no longer depending on inspiration. You're depending on yourself. And that's enough. Because self-trust is the rarest power in the world. It's the quiet strength that says, I've been here before, and I'll rise again. So let your day begin with ease. Let your focus return with every breath. Let your heart know you are becoming the person you were meant to be. Not someday, not later. Because discipline is already in you. It's in the way you breathe through doubt, the way you rise after mistakes, the way you choose growth over comfort. You've done enough today. Be proud of that. And when you wake tomorrow, do it again. Not for perfection, for peace. Because peace doesn't come when life is easy. It comes when you stay steady even when it's not. And that's exactly what you've learned to do. So exhale. Smile gently. You're on the right path. Your future self is already thanking you. And this is just the beginning. Morning routine for mental strength. Before the world wakes up, before messages, noise, and rush, there's a quiet moment that belongs only to you. That's where strength begins. Not in the gym, not in motivation videos, but in the stillness of your own morning. Because how you start your day decides how your mind speaks to you all day. And most people wake up reacting, scrolling, rushing, comparing. They forget they have a choice. You don't have to start your day like that anymore. When your eyes open, don't grab your phone. Just breathe. That's your first victory. That's you choosing awareness over noise. The morning is your reset button. It's where you train your thoughts before the world trains them for you. So take those first few minutes and make them sacred. You can start small. Sit by the window. Feel the morning air. Listen to the silence. That's not laziness. That's alignment. Because when your mind wakes gently, your soul listens clearly. And in that space, you remember what matters. Peace over speed. Clarity over chaos. Purpose over pressure. Most people say, I'll start when I have energy. But the truth is, energy comes after you start. So get up slowly, stretch, drink water, move your body just a little. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be real. You see, your morning isn't about doing more. It's about remembering who you are before the world tells you otherwise. And when your thoughts try to pull you back into yesterday, just smile and whisper, not today. Today, you begin again. It doesn't matter how yesterday went. It doesn't matter who doubted you. The morning gives you another chance to rewrite your story. Because every sunrise is proof that light always returns, even after the darkest night. So build a routine that serves your peace. Write something. Pray. Sit in silence. Whatever helps you come home to yourself. This is your foundation. Your anchor when life gets loud. Mental strength isn't built in big moments. It's built in small mornings. When no one's watching. When you choose growth over comfort. And if you can win your morning, you can win your day. Because every small act of control, making your bed, drinking water, writing one thought, tells your brain, I'm in charge now. And that's how mental strength begins. With awareness, with calm, with choice. So when you step out into the day, you carry peace instead of pressure. And that peace becomes your superpower. You don't need to rush. You don't need to impress. You just need to start with presence, with patience, with purpose. That's how strong minds are built. Not by noise, by morning silence. When you build your morning with intention, you build your life with clarity. You start realizing it's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things, the ones that feed your peace. You don't need to chase every task. You just need to begin with one calm action. Drink water. Sit still. Say thank you. Gratitude rewires your brain. It tells your mind, I already have enough. And from that place of enough, you make better choices. Because strength isn't just about doing hard things. It's about staying gentle while you do them. That's where real power hides. You see, mental strength isn't loud. It's quiet. It's the pause between reaction and response. It's the ability to smile, even when your heart feels heavy. It's easy to control the world when it listens, but to control your thoughts when they scream, that's mastery. So every morning, you train that skill. You sit with your thoughts and remind them, you are not their prisoner. You are their guide. When you feel the pull of negativity, don't fight it. Observe it. Let it pass like a wave. You are the ocean, not the wave. That's what morning silence teaches you. You are bigger than your feelings. You are not your anxiety. You are not your doubts. You are the awareness behind them. And when you realize that, you start walking lighter. You stop expecting perfection. You stop comparing. You start living. You wake up for yourself, not for validation. You move because your body deserves care, not punishment. You work because your dreams deserve consistency, not rush. This is how strong minds are made, with softness, not strain. The world tells you, grind harder, but your soul whispers, be steady, because steady will always outlast hard. Every sunrise gives you two choices: wake up with anxiety, or wake up with awareness. And you have that choice every single day. So when the light enters your room, let it remind you, you're still here. You still have another chance to build peace. Because the truth is, morning isn't just about time. It's a message, a quiet promise from life saying, I'm giving you another try. So treat your morning like a ceremony, not something to rush through, but something to honor. Light a candle. Play calm music. Write one intention. Whisper one kind word to yourself. Today, I choose peace. That's how it begins. Not with noise, not with plans, but with presence. And when you start your day that way, you carry that calm into every room you enter. People will feel it, even if you say nothing. Because peace has a sound. It speaks without words. That's mental strength. It's not about walls. It's about stillness. And as the light grows stronger outside your window, let it remind you, you are allowed to start small. You are allowed to begin again. And you don't need permission for peace. You don't need to fix everything today. You just need to arrive. Arrive in this moment. Arrive in your breath. Arrive in your purpose. Because peace doesn't wait for the perfect time. It grows where you decide to water it. Some mornings, your mind will feel heavy. Some days, you'll open your eyes and wish you could sleep forever. That's okay. You're human. But even then, take one small action. Stand up. Stretch. Open the curtain. Let the light in, even if your heart still feels dark. That's bravery. That's mental strength. It's not about smiling all the time. It's about not giving up on yourself, even when it hurts. It's the courage to move forward, quietly, slowly, but consistently. Every peaceful morning you build, is another layer of armor for your mind. Not armor that makes you hard. Armor that keeps you soft in a world that tries to harden you. Because gentleness is power too. It's the kind that doesn't need to shout. It's the kind that heals instead of harms. And when you live from that place, you start noticing the small miracles again. The sound of birds, the warmth of sunlight, the way your heart still beats after every storm. You realize life isn't about rushing to win. It's about slowing down enough to feel it. So the next time you open your eyes in the morning, don't rush to be productive. Be present, because presence itself is a form of strength. Say to yourself, I don't need to prove my worth today. I just need to live with peace. And that one thought, that single line, can shift your entire day. Because a calm mind makes stronger decisions. A peaceful heart creates better work. A grounded soul moves with clarity. That's how the strongest people live. They don't fight the morning. They flow with it. And when the world gets loud, they go back to that morning silence, their inner sanctuary, and find balance again. You don't need to control everything. You just need to control how you begin. So start soft. Start grateful. Start with love. Because that's how you build a life that feels whole. One gentle morning at a time. And when people ask how you stay calm through chaos, you'll smile quietly and say, I train my peace every morning. That's mental strength. That's your new power. And it starts again tomorrow, with the first breath after waking, and the whisper that says, I'm ready for peace. Emotional healing through self-discipline. There comes a time when you stop trying to escape your feelings, and finally decide to understand them. That's where healing begins. Not when life becomes easy, but when you choose not to run anymore. You've spent years fixing everything outside you. Your goals, your plans, your image. But the real work is inside. And it starts with discipline. Because discipline isn't punishment. It's love in action. It's the daily decision to give yourself what you truly need. Not just what you want right now. Healing asks for that kind of love. It asks you to stay when your heart wants to hide. It asks you to breathe through discomfort, instead of distracting yourself from it. When you sit in silence and face your pain, you're not weak. You're brave enough to meet the parts of yourself that the world taught you to ignore. Some wounds can't be rushed. Some lessons arrive slowly, like dawn breaking through fog. That's okay. Healing isn't a race, it's a rhythm. And every small act of discipline keeps you in that rhythm. Waking up early, eating something real, turning your phone off for a while, writing what you feel instead of hiding it. These things sound simple, but they rebuild the trust you lost with yourself. Because every time you follow through, you teach your heart, I am safe with me. That's where emotional healing begins. With safety, not speed. You can't heal in chaos. You can't grow in guilt. You can only rise when you stop fighting the present moment and decide to care for yourself inside it. Discipline is how you care. It's not a cage. It's a container for peace. When your emotions rise like waves, discipline becomes the ground beneath them. It's the reminder that says, I know this feeling, but it doesn't control me. That's power. Quiet, patient power. You start realizing that self-discipline and self-love are the same language spoken in different tones. Love whispers, rest now. Discipline answers, wake again tomorrow. Together, they heal you. So when your mind feels heavy, don't reach for escape. Reach for structure. Because routine is a form of therapy too. Drink water. Step outside. Breathe. Let the sunlight touch your skin. That's not small. That's sacred. Each moment you choose presence over avoidance. You stitch yourself back together. Healing isn't always beautiful. Sometimes it's messy, repetitive, exhausting. But even on those days, your discipline keeps you grounded. It's the quiet promise that says, I won't abandon myself again. And one day, without notice, you'll wake up lighter. The pain will still be there, but it will no longer own you, because now you've learned to carry it with grace. That's emotional healing through discipline, to face your storms, to walk through them, and to come out softer, not harder. You're not broken, you're rebuilding, and every act of discipline is another brick in the foundation of your peace. Healing asks for patience. The same way the earth takes time to bloom after winter, your heart needs time to open again after pain. Don't rush it. Don't force it. Let it unfold in its own rhythm. You see, emotional wounds don't disappear overnight. They dissolve slowly through small, consistent care. That's why discipline matters. When you wake up and move, even when you don't feel like it, that's healing. When you eat, rest, or journal instead of numbing yourself, that's healing. When you stay kind to yourself on bad days, that's healing. Every simple, disciplined act becomes medicine, because discipline builds stability, and stability creates safety. Without safety, your heart can't open. That's why people who run from structure never find peace. They're free, but they're lost. Freedom without direction is just another form of pain. But discipline gives you direction, a gentle order to your chaos. You start trusting yourself again. You start believing that even when life shakes you, you won't collapse completely. That trust changes everything. It changes how you love. It changes how you speak to yourself. It changes what you allow and what you let go of. You stop chasing temporary comfort and start protecting your long-term peace. Because discipline teaches you boundaries, and boundaries are love in disguise. When you say no to what drains you, you say yes to your healing. When you distance yourself from people who trigger your pain, you give your soul room to breathe. This is emotional strength. To walk away, not out of anger, but out of peace. To choose growth over approval. To choose rest over noise. To choose structure over chaos. That's not coldness. That's self-respect. And it takes discipline to live like that. To keep doing what's right for your peace, even when your emotions beg you to go back. Some days, it'll hurt. You'll miss what broke you. You'll crave what harmed you. But discipline will whisper, not this time. That whisper is your power. That's your healing voice. Because emotional healing doesn't mean you never feel pain again. It means pain no longer controls your choices. You'll still feel everything, deeply, beautifully, but you'll respond from wisdom, not wounds. And that's when you realize discipline was never the enemy. It was the guide, the gentle teacher that kept you steady, while your heart learned to breathe again. Healing asks for patience. The same way the earth takes time to bloom after winter, your heart needs time to open again after pain. Don't rush it. Don't force it. Let it unfold in its own rhythm. You see, emotional wounds don't disappear overnight. They dissolve slowly through small, consistent care. That's why discipline matters. When you wake up and move, even when you don't feel like it, that's healing. When you eat, rest, or journal instead of numbing yourself, that's healing. When you stay kind to yourself on bad days, that's healing. Every simple, disciplined act becomes medicine, because discipline builds stability, and stability creates safety. Without safety, your heart can't open. That's why people who run from structure never find peace. They're free, but they're lost. Freedom without direction is just another form of pain. But discipline gives you direction, a gentle order to your chaos. You start trusting yourself again. You start believing that even when life shakes you, you won't collapse completely. That trust changes everything. It changes how you love. It changes how you speak to yourself. It changes what you allow and what you let go of. You stop chasing temporary comfort and start protecting your long-term peace. Because discipline teaches you boundaries, and boundaries are love in disguise. When you say no to what drains you, you say yes to your healing. When you distance yourself from people who trigger your pain, you give your soul room to breathe. This is emotional strength. To walk away, not out of anger, but out of peace. To choose growth over approval. To choose rest over noise. To choose structure over chaos. That's not coldness. That's self-respect. And it takes discipline to live like that. To keep doing what's right for your peace, even when your emotions beg you to go back. Some days, it'll hurt. You'll miss what broke you. You'll crave what harmed you. But discipline will whisper, "Not this time." That whisper is your power. That's your healing voice. Because emotional healing doesn't mean you never feel pain again. It means pain no longer controls your choices. You'll still feel everything, deeply, beautifully, but you'll respond from wisdom, not wounds. And that's when you realize discipline was never the enemy. It was the guide, the gentle teacher that kept you steady, while your heart learned to breathe again. Would you like me to finish the final 1,000 words of this part, closing it softly and emotionally, like a healing sunrise tone? You said, yes. ChatGPT said, all right, continuing the final part softly, exactly in the same tone and flow. No breaks. There's something sacred about showing up for yourself. Not when it's easy, not when the world is watching, but when no one would even know if you quit. Those quiet mornings, those small wins, those unseen efforts, that's where real strength is born. It's not dramatic, it's not loud, it's steady. That's the kind of discipline that heals you, the kind that holds you when everything else falls apart. When you whisper to yourself, "I'll keep going," even when the world feels heavy. That's self-love in its purest form. Healing is not about forgetting what hurt you. It's about remembering without breaking. It's about turning your scars into lessons instead of prisons. You start realizing that pain didn't come to destroy you. It came to reveal you. It came to strip away who you weren't, so you could remember who you are. And who you are is someone capable of rising again. You've survived every dark night before. You've rebuilt yourself quietly 100 times. You're stronger than the memories that haunt you. You don't need to prove your worth anymore. You just need to live it. Day by day, step by step. That's what discipline does. It keeps you close to your truth. Even when doubt comes. Even when fear comes. Even when you don't feel like moving at all. Because healing isn't a race. It's a rhythm. A slow dance between your will and your wounds. And one day, you'll look back and realize the version of you who thought they'd never make it is gone. In their place stands someone softer, but stronger, calmer, but braver. You'll walk through the same places that once broke you and feel peace instead of pain. That's how you'll know you've healed. Not when you forget, but when you're finally free. So take a deep breath, right here, right now. You don't need to rush. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to show up, with heart, with patience, with faith. The rest will unfold in time. Every sunrise you wake to is another chance to begin again, to create peace where pain once lived, to honor yourself the way you always deserved. Because healing isn't found in one big moment. It's found in the quiet repetition of choosing yourself every single day. And that is what true discipline is. The discipline to love yourself, even when it's hardest. The discipline to believe that something beautiful is still ahead. You've come too far to stop now. You've cried too many nights to quit here. Keep walking, keep breathing, keep healing. The light you've been chasing is already inside you. You just needed the discipline to find it again. And as this moment ends, just remember, healing is not about speed. It's about presence. Every breath you take, every small act of courage, is proof that you're still choosing life. Be gentle with yourself tonight. You're not behind. You're becoming. The journey isn't over. It's unfolding. And the best version of you is already on the way. The quiet power of consistency. It's not the loud days that build you. It's the quiet ones. The mornings when no one sees you wake early. The nights when you choose effort over comfort. The small, invisible choices. That's where greatness grows. You don't need to do everything today. You just need to do one small thing. And do it again tomorrow. That's the secret. Not speed. Not perfection. Consistency. Because when you show up every day, something inside you starts to change. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to believe that your word means something. And that belief is everything. You see, motivation can make you move once, but consistency makes you unstoppable. There will be days when your energy is low, when nothing feels worth it, when your mind screams, take a break. And maybe you do, but only to rest, not to quit, because you understand something deeper now. Discipline isn't punishment, it's love. It's choosing your future self over your present mood. It's saying, I care about where I'm going too much to stop here. Consistency doesn't mean never falling. It means getting back up every time you do. That's what makes you powerful. Not your speed, not your success, but your ability to return again and again. So keep showing up, even when no one's clapping, even when it feels like nothing's changing. Because one day, you'll realize everything has. There's something sacred about being consistent. It's quiet power. You don't notice it at first, but one day you look back and you see how far you've come. Each small step, each repeated effort became a bridge from who you were to who you're becoming. Consistency is how dreams turn real, not through giant leaps, but through small, steady steps. You may not see progress every day. That's okay. You're not supposed to. Growth hides before it blooms. Think of the seed buried under the soil. It spends days in the dark, but that darkness is what makes its roots strong. Your effort works the same way. Every act of discipline you choose is building roots inside you. So when the storms come, you don't break. You bend. You hold. You rise again. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting. It's real. That's how change happens. That's how healing turns into transformation. And maybe right now you're tired. Maybe you feel invisible. Like your effort doesn't matter. But it does. It always does. Because consistency builds identity. The more you keep showing up, the more you become the kind of person who shows up. You begin to rewrite your story, not through luck, but through loyalty to your purpose. You start walking differently. You speak differently. You think differently. That's what consistency does. It quietly changes everything. People may doubt you. They may not understand your silence, but they don't need to, because your results will speak for you. Every day you show up, you're writing proof that you're serious about your life. Even when you fail, you're still further than before. Even when you fall, you've learned something new. And if you keep walking, the distance will take care of itself. There's a peace that comes from being consistent. It's calm. It's deep. It's earned. You stop chasing instant results. You stop comparing yourself to others. You start trusting your timing, because you know every step counts. Every effort builds something. And one day, everything you're doing now will make perfect sense. Consistency is the quiet promise you make to yourself and keep. It's the hand you hold when no one else believes in you. It's the calm voice that says, you're still on your way. Every time you wake up and choose effort over excuses, you're proving something powerful. You're proving that your future matters. You don't have to do everything today. You just have to do something, because something done every day becomes everything. And the truth is, you won't always see the reward right away, but that doesn't mean it's not working. Consistency is like the sunrise. It doesn't shout. It just appears quietly every single morning. And before you know it, the world is bright again. You'll start to notice it too. How your words sound different. How your thoughts feel lighter. How your heart starts to trust you again. That's the gift of staying consistent. Because each small act adds up. Every habit you build. Every choice you repeat. Every quiet yes to progress. It shapes you. You begin to glow from the inside. You begin to see that you're not who you were. You're more grounded, more patient, more peaceful. You've stopped waiting for the perfect day. You've started creating it. That's the power of showing up. Even when it's hard. Even when it's boring. Even when no one claps. You're no longer living for applause. You're living for alignment. And that's rare. That's strength. That's peace. So, stay consistent. Stay true to what you started. Keep walking toward that quiet dream inside you. You might not see it yet, but something beautiful is building beneath the surface. Your effort is forming your future. Your patience is painting your path. Your discipline is turning into destiny. And when you finally reach that place, when you see what you've built, you'll realize something powerful. It wasn't luck. It wasn't timing. It was you. It was every single moment. You chose to keep going. When no one was watching, you did that. You created that. You became that. So today, take one small step. That's all it takes. And tomorrow, take another. And one day soon, you'll look back and thank yourself for never giving up. Because consistency doesn't just change your results. It changes you. You were always arriving. Sometimes you forget how far you've come. You look at the distance ahead, and it feels endless. But pause for a moment. Look behind you. Every mountain you thought would break you, you climbed it. Every storm you thought would drown you, you survived it. You've already proven you can endure. So, now, it's not about surviving anymore. It's about living. Living with peace in your mind. Living with trust in your timing. Living with love for the person you're becoming. Because discipline isn't punishment. It's devotion. It's you saying to yourself, I believe I'm worth the effort. That's love. The quiet kind. The kind that builds day after day until you become your own safe place. And the truth is, no one can take that from you. Not doubt, not failure, not time. Because once you learn to trust your own steps, you stop fearing the path. You stop rushing. You start being. And in that stillness, you realize you were never behind. You were always arriving. Every choice led you here, to this calm, this strength, this version of you that doesn't break easily anymore. So breathe. You've earned this peace. Keep showing up for your dreams, not out of pressure, but out of love. Because one day, your peace will be louder than your pain. Your faith will be stronger than your fear. And your story will inspire someone who's still in the dark to keep going. That's how your light spreads, quietly, softly, through every life you touch. So don't stop. Not now. Not ever. Because someone, somewhere, is waiting to believe again. Because of you.